Notre Dame. With all that being said, you can't put a premium on Jared Verse talking shit on people like Zander and the Eagle fans. Why in the world would that guy walk in going, hey, Zander, fuck you and your Eagle fans? And you're going to walk into the link and think that's okay. I don't know about you, man. You might as well light yourself on fire and walk into that place, man. I just don't get it. Why would you put bulletin board material up when you don't need to, when you're going to fight a bully? So you're going to piss off Mike Tyson, right? I don't know, man. Hey, Jared, you guys got your ass kicked, and now you're taking a shit on the fans. I don't know, man. Without further ado, the co-host of Birds 365, also pre and post, halftime show, post, our good friend, Big Z, Zander Krause. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Big Sills? How you living, brother? Football Friday, right? It's a good one.
It is, man. Hey, dude. So this guy first starts barking out of the gate, talking shit. You know, that sounds to me like someone who got their ass kicked in week 12 now, trying to talk tough before.
I'll tell you what, he might have got his ass kicked and their team got their ass kicked, but he's the one with the headline. He's the one who got the clip of him decking my Lotta. So he might be feeling pretty good about himself right now. But yo, Jared Verse. Fuck you, Jared Verse.
Oh, my God, man. I don't know why in the world you would want to go down that lane here, man, with this, but all good here. Zander, your takeaway here on this Friday, 2 days out from the game here, are you feeling more confident? You feeling better? Or is there a concern heading into this game? It's supposed to be in the 30s, some snow. It's going to be cold as hell. You got a dome team traveling $3,000. They played on Monday night, short work week, heading into this game also on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. Remember everything I told you yesterday when I was playing devil's advocate, and I ran it by John this morning. I talked to Ed Kratz about it. You know, they got a Super Bowl coach and quarterback. That shouldn't be taken lightly. But when you talk about the trenches, like if the weather was perfect in this game and there was no issue and it was 38 and sunny in Philly, I think that would have more of an impact. And I'd still feel like the Eagles would be in good position to win the game because of the trenches. Now you add in the fact that it looks like we're going to have a snow game in Philly. I don't think Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are going to be able to run that offense like they want to run that offense, or forget how they want to run it, like they need to run that offense to be able to stay in the game for the whole time. So I think it's a major advantage, Birds. I love the idea of a snow game. Still, I might have to skip out on the pre and post game show and head down to the link myself. I'm getting jacked up, Big Sills.
You might want to do the pregame from the parking lot down there.
From the freaking lots down there at the link. That would be epic. But no, it's going to be a good game. It's I tell you what, it snowed this morning here, but it got hot. I mean, it's warm outside with sun. So I don't know how much the snow is going to stick or anything, but you know, our guy John Belaris put out that he thinks his forecast is showing that he thinks it's going to snow during the game. So that would be best case scenario. Because if it snows before, you got the heated field, you got all that stuff. It's not going to stick that well. So I think this weekend it's going to, though, and you're going to have the snow during the game. That would be great.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what I hate is rain during the game. That's because of the slipping when you're on them grass fields back in the day. Well, it's a non-factor today. You know one thing about Stafford, too? He's played his entire career inside at home. You know,
I think someone put out a stat. See, some of these stats I don't like because there was a stat going around about the ref that everybody talked about. That's just fake news. We're not 0-3 or whatever people said we were about the ref. So we're 2-1 since 2022 with that ref. So I don't care. I don't give a shit about the ref, and nobody should care about the ref. Who cares? But there's a stat out there that Matthew Stafford's like 1-8 in games under 25 degrees. So if you got 30 degrees in Philly with a wind chill, man, it gets frosty in this city. So I don't think it's conducive to them winning. You know, like you said, you already are in a position in this game where you feel like the Eagles have to underachieve and the Rams have to overachieve. Now you're going to add in a factor and an element where Matthew Stafford has historically struggled in. You're going to put him inside the Lincoln Financial Field after Jared Verse get pissed off the entire 70,000 strong that are going to be in there. It's just not a good recipe for them. Now, I will say they do have the one interesting thing about the Rams right now is they kind of have that element of like they're playing for more than themselves because of the feel-good story. You know what I mean? Look, I'm with you. I don't put any stock into it, but it does exist. And potentially you go out there, you know you got nothing to lose. You know you're on the road. You know you're not expected to win the game. Just start fucking slinging that thing, you know? And sometimes when you play with a little bit of a fearlessness like that, it can lead you to good results, big results. So
why would I give a shit about a fan base who doesn't show up for me during the week and during the year? I mean, honest to God. I mean, dude, there were more Eagle fans this year at SoFi. And get this, remember what the Rams had to go to a silent count because of the Eagle fans at SoFi. Yeah, that's right. I'm playing for the Eagle LA.
Look, even M. Reyes agrees with you. That's when you know, Sileo, maybe you should shut the fuck up. Is when you have the same take as M. Reyes. Maybe you might want to check your M. Reyes. Never sleep on something's like this, his ability to galvanize around something. All right. I know the city is not a good fan base. I know the Rams don't have a good fan base, but listen, you know,
that was Philly.
40
I
million
would believe that
in these games, and Matthew Stafford's up there saying, "Hey, man, we did it for the city." I'm just saying, don't sleep on the. You know, you might be able to galvanize a little bit of fandom out of that, or at least a purpose that comes from within, whether it's there or not. They believe it's there, and that might be all you need.
Sorry for the silent pause. I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry, like, fuck those Fires, man. Come on, man. I hope everybody's all good, but who cares, man? Let's play 60.
Let's go play 60, man.
Yeah,
hey, how in the world today do you not feel more threatened that pretend you – I'm not even talking about the guy's ability and the game plan more. Next week is going to get Chicago, too. That's going to jump aboard and get an interview. So he's going to, next 5 days, have 4 job interviews for going and being a potential head coach in the NFL. I don't give a fuck what people say. When you got people sniff, that's like saying this. Well, my wife, who has 5 guys sniffing around her, and they're really loaded, and hey, there's big fat sills, that I wouldn't feel threatened.
Yo, quit degrading yourself. I'm not going to let you degrade yourself on this program.
My old lady's just going to go, hey, you know, big fella, it's been a good 35 years, but you know what, man? I'm gonna. How would you not feel threatened if you're the Eagles when you're come to? How about this? Just your focus on the game and the.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, these interviews are what, 2 hours a pop, probably.
Yes.
Usually. I mean, I sit here and shit talk football with you for 2 hours a day. These meetings
are 2 interviews for
are
4
minimum
hours.
2 hours, and there's also preparation. There's also preparation that goes into it. You know, I don't know. I don't really care. Okay, here's why I don't care.
Hours today.
No, here's what I don't care though. All right, I don't want to hear it because if we lose this game, if you think I'm going to come up on this show and say we lost this game because Kellen Moore had an interview, fuck that. That is a loser's mentality.
Like people said it about Gannon.
Yeah, and I never believed it or bought it for 1 fucking second. Wait a second. You think if Jonathan Gannon didn't have an interview, that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid would have been less successful in that game?
I did not buy it. I never bought it.
Come on, man. That's a stupid take.
Eagle fans.
And by the way, the team that's the favorite to come out of the NFC right now is dealing with the times too with both of their coaches who are more sought after than our knucklehead and Kellen Moore, who really didn't do all that much here besides hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley.
Okay. Well, then how does he have 5 interviews?
I don't know. I think
really? Yes, you do. Because
you tell me if his passing offense is so unimpressive.
What you're saying is not facts. He's got 5 job opportunities.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Listen, I'm just saying I don't think what he's done in Philly is that he had job opportunity. He had job interviews last year and the year before that. Let's call it.
He was fired last year.
No, but he still had he interviewed for a head coaching job last year and the year before that. So he's still been in the mix.
I'm telling you, he's got 5 interviews now for a reason, because he's 15-3. Whatever people think of him.
All right, that's fine.
So
are you giving credit to Jalen Hurts then?
You have to give it to both.
Well, for all the Jalen Hurts haters out there, all right, and Big Sills, I'll ask you directly. If this guy sucks so freaking bad, why does every coordinator keep getting hired?
No, they get fired and hired.
Oh, okay. Well, they're still getting hired. Shane Steichen's a head coach.
Oh, so wait a minute. He didn't, in my opinion, this year, he was the lesser of the guys in the whole equation on winning and getting to 15-3. If I were going to put priorities on how this team got where they are, Barkley's 1, O-line's 2, AJ's 3, Hurts is 4.
Okay, so if you're a prospective team hiring Kellen Moore, then what are you looking at? What is the success you are pulling from the time he had in Philly?
Looking at the fact that he's so versatile that he had 2 number 1 offenses in the passing game in Dallas, and that he adapted to a run game and showed you his versatility, that he's 50. Hey, dude.
All right, who wants a conspiracy theory? Who wants a conspiracy theory?
Okay. Hey, because
so we hired this fucking numbnuts who comes from Dallas, which, by the way, we all hate anyway. We might say we love Kellen Moore right now. The minute that guy's out of here, we're all going to look back and say, man, I wish we didn't hire a Dallas Cowboy, especially if we don't win the Super Bowl. If we win the Super Bowl, maybe we won't care. But we hire a dude from Dallas, all right? And now he might be shipped off right back to Dallas. You know what Jerry's saying on that call that's going on right now? You throw that fucking game on Sunday. You better have Jalen Hurts throw that ball 50 times in that game, and you'll be the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
Can I tell you what I would do if I was Kellen Moore? I would use the Dallas Cowboy job in my job that I'm doing now with the Eagles to win a Super Bowl, so I can jack that price up in New Orleans, Chicago, and Jacksonville. Where, get this, if I don't want that Dallas job. Where are you going with Dak? He knows he's not going anywhere. He coached Dak. He knows that. Maybe in Chicago or Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got 10 picks and $100 million in cap space. I mean, dude, I don't want to. I'm going to use the Cowboys.
A little bit more enticing than I thought. When you explain Jacksonville to me, because you think Jacksonville, and you're like, if Doug couldn't succeed there, like
10 picks and $100 million.
That owner is such a dumbass, though. And same with that GM. Why did they keep that GM around? How do you fire Doug Peterson and keep Trent Baalke? I mean, come on. That dude has done nothing. That dude has done nothing other than
he destroyed the Niners with Harbaugh. When Jim Harbaugh was there, he destroyed the Niners.
Yeah, and I'm with Fly Parks, man. I'm not really in on Trevor Lawrence. I know that people say, oh, the talent exists. It's the same thing I hear with Herbert, man. I know the talent exists, but at what point is the talent going to help you win football games? I mean, come on, man. Enough of this shit. That's where I hate the conversation about Jalen. All we want to see is more talent, but we keep winning. And with a guy like Herbert, all you see is this great talent, but they can't win a football game.
Hang on with Herbert here. They won 4 games or 5 games last year. They won 11 this year. They improved the offense. They got rid of Keenan Allen. They got rid of Mike Williams. They got rid of Austin Eckler. They got rid of everyone in that offensive huddle because it's in a rebuild, and they still made the playoffs. Dude, this is a rebuild in Los Angeles with the Chargers.
Dude, you sound like you're on the Chargers payroll, man.
Bro,
that was
what happened. There's not one guy in that offensive huddle that could start in Philly. Not one. Not one player. There was another guy in a situation, and he had Brandon Staley fucking last year, who was a train wreck.
All I'm saying is, at what point are we going to – I mean,
you
tell me all the time, man, no excuses. I have the opinion of no excuses, okay? If you got to the playoffs, great. If you get to the playoffs and you throw 4 fucking interceptions, I don't give a shit who's on your roster. You shit the bed.
Okay, if Hurts doesn't deliver the Super Bowl this year, there's no fucking excuses for having 2 14-win seasons and you not being able to, if you need to, throw yourself into a title. If he doesn't get it done, you're fucking A. I'm now even going to light this guy on fire even more if he doesn't.
Oh, we all know that's coming. And look, it'll be fair because the expectations are high for this team. The roster is stacked. The offense is damn good. The receivers are good. The offense, everything is good. So listen, you're not wrong. If this whole strategy that they've employed doesn't end up working out, I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions about a lot of things. And I think they'll be fair. And we'll end up talking about them all off season long. But right now we're in a good position. And I don't think the Rams have much of a chance. So I feel pretty good about where the birds are on January
Somebody
17th.
somebody asked me a question. Well, quite frankly, I saw somebody just ask a question saying, and by the way, all supers go to the top here. We'll read them here in a second. What has McVay done since he won the Super Bowl? They've rebuilt the organization because they were in salary cap hell, and now they're building the team back up. That Super Bowl cost them because they were using a credit card to go out and pay for all those players to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
That's what they did. This has been rebuilding. They had a 5-win team a couple of years ago, right after the Super Bowl they won, and now they're rebuilding. I think the Rams are in a great place. Look at all the rookies that are starting in that defense this year. You got Kitchen starting, you got Verse starting, you got Fisk starting. I think the Rams, what they're doing, I think they're rebuilding themselves.
I think they've done it. I think they might
amazing
be the best drafting team in the league. Are they the best drafting team in the league?
I'll tell you.
Think about it. You pick up
Kansas City too, dude. Kansas City's hitting on it.
Oh
no, you know who is? Dude, that guy Brad Holmes up in Detroit is.
Dude, he's a. Remember when everybody laughed at him for his 2 first-round picks and Jahmyr Gibbs and Luke and Jack Campbell, and now both of them are beasts on both sides of the ball. No, they're good too. You're right. There's a couple good ones, but it just feels like the Rams, man. Every pick. I mean, you pull Puka Nacua, I think a top 10 receiver in the NFL out of the 5th round.
Laporte. Ahmad St. Brown.
That's true. What round was Brown?
I think Brown was a 3rd rounder, 4th rounder.
Was he drafted when Holmes was there though? Because he's already on his 2nd contract. Because when did Holmes go? When did Holmes get the?
He may have got there when Dan got there in 21.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. They hired them together.
Yeah, St. Brown's a 4th rounder.
Yeah, that's impressive. Now, you're right. There are some good teams. I just think what the Rams have done is impressive. I mean, you got Jared Verse and Braden Fisk this last year. I mean, they're doing good things in the draft. And remember, they didn't have picks for a long time. And now they got their picks back, and they already showed you that they hit. They're going to have the Rookie of the Year with their first pick. And then, obviously, that Braden Fisk guy is damn good, too. I mean, you look at what that Braden Fisk guy is. Listen, I know he's not talented. Yeah, I mean, dude, as a defensive tackle.
They both played at FSU. I forgot about that. They were both FSU guys.
That's impressive work out of a rookie DT. So there's no doubt. They're solid. I don't think they match up well with the Eagles.
No, they're just not. No. Here, let me.
Did you hear Lane Johnson, by the way?
What's that?
Did you hear Lane Johnson?
No. What did he say?
No, I mean, I don't have the exact quote, but I'll paraphrase it. Basically, okay, Minnesota gave up 9 sacks to these guys. Well, we're not fucking Minnesota, okay? This offensive line ain't Minnesota's offensive line, all right? So they ain't getting no 9 sacks around here in Philadelphia. So Lane Johnson's feeling good going into the game.
Let me say this to you. If the Philadelphia Eagles gave up 9 sacks in a game, I would want every fucking guy drug tested. And I would say that's not who those guys' names on the back of the jerseys are.
Right.
There is no way that team's giving up 9 freaking sacks. There is not a chance. All right. Concern heading into the game.
What's that?
How much of a concern is Elliott for you heading into this?
Elliott's a big concern for me because the reason Elliott's a big concern is because the weather. And if you're not able to get into the red zone or in the end zone in a game like this, obviously those points are going to be kickoffs. Do they have a good special team?
Kickoffs too. If it's cold, Zander, they get this field position. You don't want to give the Rams, and you don't want the Rams starting on the 35.
Yeah. I guess kickoffs are a factor, but I more care about the points. I'm not going to lie. Listen, I agree with the other thing. You don't want to give bad field position up, but we do have a great defense. And every time I question this defense, man, they show up. Every single time I've questioned. I mean, I wondered about the Ravens game. We destroyed the Ravens. I wondered about Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. We beat up on them. I wondered about even the Rams in the first go around. We fucking made them look dumb. I mean, every time this defense has a real test.
No Dean.
What's that?
No Dean.
How big of an impact do you think?
With a guy like Stafford, 15%. Like, there could be a play in there somewhere where it goes for large yards.
Yeah, if they get that mismatch, if they're able to exploit that.
Like,
the other thing I don't love, too, about that, I know a lot of people are ready to see Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
No way.
And I think that's all cool and all, but I don't know, man. I don't like this spot for him, man. You're going to put that kid with all those expectations, with the legacy of his father. You're going to put him in here in a playoff. I mean, maybe he rises up. Maybe he swims and he takes off with it. But he makes one bad play. He gets beat on one route, which you wouldn't kill him for if it was any other game. He's a rookie,
Not the divisional round.
Not in the divisional round, man. People are going to be crushing him in Philly. So I don't love that spot for him, but I think Warren Burks is better than people give credit for. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this guy was a decent player in San Francisco. He stepped in for the Super Bowl. He was no Dre Greenlaw. I'm not saying that. He's not as good as Nakobe Dean, but he's not a total trash can. I don't see total trash can out of him.
You know what I would do? I'd go to some 43 looks and put Zach Bond at the mic and put him there at that mic a couple looks in there.
And what other linebackers? You want Burks and who? Will you bring in another safety or something?
I would bring down maybe Sidney Brown.
Yeah, that would be like a big nickel look almost with three safeties on the field. Get a little bit better in coverage. That's a good idea. I was thinking they'd run maybe a little bit more of that, maybe a little bit more dime coverage on passing downs, stuff like that. Because I do think you have a little bit more of a liability there with Nakobe Dean out. But overall, again, I don't think they got the guy. I mean, I guess Higbee's going to play, right? Higbee's going to play.
Higbee's going to play.
Yeah,
so
that's
going to be something to keep an eye on the seam. And I would think Corinne, who's got almost 40 catches, is also going to be somebody out of the backfield that just to keep an eye. I'm not saying they're going to have an attack of that. I'm saying that Stafford may make 2 or 3 big plays because of that mismatch in there, okay? Yeah, Yale's right. You're just going to have to be really disciplined in making sure that zone, maybe squeeze the zone down a little bit and drop those safeties down not so high and keep them down a little bit to help that linebacking core a little more, because what you don't want to get, Zander, is you don't want to get into a run game where all of a sudden LA's getting something going. If I'm LA, I'm going to run some stretch plays too. I'm going to try to tire those 2 big dudes out. And I want to try to get some lanes in there too. So I'm going to try to get to the edge. And I think Nolan's going to have a big game at the edge, maybe more so than setting the edge and even getting to the passer, that I'm going to go at him. I'm going to try to do everything I can to stretch that stretch play out. How about this one here? If the Rams playing with the lead, are you concerned about Moore and Nick panicking? And what I mean by panicking, all of a sudden starting to throw the ball more in the air, because the more I see attempts, the more that means the Eagles are behind. If I see attempts starting to climb up into the high 30s. And if you see that, that's potential 3 and out. And that means this, because here's what I said at the beginning, if you heard me. The key to this game is keeping that O-line away from my D-line. I'm not even talking about Hurts. I'm not talking about AJ. I want to keep those big dudes away from my little dudes.
Right.
And the way you do that is sustain drives. I think the Rams need 4 10 plays or more drives in this game for them to make it even a fourth quarter game, not even to win it, to get it into the fourth quarter. And I think if the Rams have the lead in the fourth and they have done that, then I think it's a puncher's shot that they have a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the exact. I think if you're the Rams,
do I think they will do that? I do not. But
that game plan coming in is probably literally as simple as make it a fourth quarter game. If we can make it a fourth quarter game, then we're good. Then we're good going out like that. If we don't make it a fourth quarter game, then we're never going to have a shot in this game. And I think that's probably what they're. Look, you know how it goes. One score game in the playoffs in the fourth quarter. Anybody's game. It's anybody's game at that point.
And you go with the quarterback.
I think that's, like I said, I think similarly, that's the Commanders' philosophy going into the Detroit game. Make it a fourth quarter game. That's all, that's how can we do that? And that's what the Rams are going to be trying to do in this game. I think the snow is going to fuck them up, man. I'm telling you, I don't think Stafford likes that stuff.
When you ever read The Art of War by Sun Tzu?
I have. That is a fantastic freaking book.
The Art of War, if your opponent is superior, pull back and adjust and attack weakness.
Right.
That's exactly the formula you do when I think that book applies, especially in sports, especially in football, to something like this. And like you said, when your opponent is superior, you've got to assess where the only place where weakness is, where you can attack. And you've got to keep that old line off the field. You cannot allow those guys to go out there and beat your team up. The Packers were on golf carts by the end of the game. You can't have that look. And get this, if you're the Rams, hey, that's great beating the Eagles, but they'll beat you up so bad for the NFC Championship game, you're going to get blown out. You've got to play smart football here. Here's another one. Do you think Hurts is going to be leaned on? What level do you think Hurts will be leaned on in this game on Sunday?
All right, so I'll tell you what. I think the plan going in is to lean on him the same way they've leaned on him in the last half of the year, where you ride Saquon Barkley in the offensive line more than anything. You hope Jalen can give you a play or two, maybe convert a third down with the legs if he needs to, be efficient and no turnovers. I think that's what the plan is going into the game. If you get punched in the mouth early, all right, we did our predictions this morning on Birds 365. I got the prediction from John, and I made him pick an MVP for the team for the game outside of Saquon Barkley. I did the same thing for Ed Kratz, all right? John went with Jalen Carter, all right, could wreck the game on the other side. Ed Kratz went with Nolan Smith outside. I went with Jalen Hurts, all right? And the reason I went with Jalen Hurts is because the same reason that you say about Jalen Hurts, I'm either going to be right or I'm going to be wrong. I think if this game gets to a point where your quarterback needs to make a play, I'm either going to be right or I'm going to be wrong on this, all right? He's either going to make the play like we've seen him do before in the postseason. He's going to rise up and he's going to meet the moment like I've seen him do many times in his career, or he's going to be a shrinking violet. I've never seen him be a shrinking violet. I don't think he will be a shrinking violet. Maybe I guess you could say he was last year in the playoff game, but I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. I'm going to say Jalen Hurts with it because I think he knows all the talk. I know he says he doesn't care, and I told you I think he actually cared, but it feels good to shut a motherfucker up. And if that opportunity presents itself in this game, I think he's going to try and seize it, and he's going to make a big play.
It's Barkley all day. If Barkley's not your MVP, you're not winning.
Well, you're still going to need Barkley regardless, just like the Rams.
No. If Barkley doesn't have a large game, you're not winning. Okay? You're not winning because that meant the running game was not efficient, and I don't think he can beat you. Well, and so I like you said, we'll find out. Because this year he hasn't been leaned on really in any way whatsoever to go out there and
lead. Well, last time Barkley was held in check was the Steelers game.
Right. Okay.
He had 65 yards in that game.
Okay. This is the Rams in an NFC divisional game. This is a whole different world here for that.
I know it's a full different world, but we did ask Jalen to win that game through the air, and he did.
I do not believe he can do it. Okay. His wins have how he's played this year, he's hung around the 135 and the 145 number rushing. That's what he's been all year. To sit there and say all of a sudden he's going to pull a 300-yard passing game out of his ass in a divisional round game, I think is crazy. So, especially will the coordinator and the head coach allow that philosophy to go when they have had a formula, you're 15-3. With a different way of doing it. You're all of a sudden going to start doing something different. That's panic. That's what I'm talking about in panicking and hanging in. All of a sudden, you're going to panic.
Look, Saquon's
your identity. Your
Saquon's going to have to make a difference.
Your 15-3 identity is not what you said. It's not. I got 28-10.
What? 28-10 Birds?
Yeah.
Wow.
28-10. Dude, it's a fist fight.
So you got the Eagles defense being staunch again in this game, though.
Yeah, and
you're basically not buying a single thing.
Line running them over.
Boy, for as high as you talked about Sean McVay, that tells me you're not buying his offensive game plan at all in this game. 10
Dude, it doesn't matter how good you fucking are as a coach. When you got big dudes beat little dudes up, you can have the plan all you want, and you can have the Super Bowl ring.
Sileo picking an Eagles blowout? Holy shit!
Well, you know why? If they hadn't played early in the year in Week 12, I would probably be more so that I think this is going to be a closer game. But, dude, they beat them up to 317 yards rushing and 37 points. What has changed, in your opinion, that the Rams, what? They got bigger? They got tougher? Come on, dog. Who'd they sign? Aaron Donald back? Now, if Aaron Donald came out of retirement, we got a different conversation here.
Yeah.
But we don't have Aaron Donald coming
Their
out.
defense has gotten much better. I will say that. I think even in
And
the last
faster.
yeah,
Now,
in
the
the last
Dean
4 games, I
injury-
forget what the numbers are. Somebody put them out, the numbers of the last
But
4
the Dean
games.
yeah, but those are skewed now because of Dean not being in there.
I'm talking about the Rams defense.
Oh,
the Rams
the
defense
Rams-
is playing
The
better.
Rams have gotten better. They have.
Yeah, they're playing a lot better. So I think we're going to be pretty good. The injury report just came out though from the Birds, and looks like everybody's a full go. So everybody's good to
AJ?
go, man. What's that?
Including AJ?
AJ's good to go. The only person who was limited today but was back out, they did not practice yesterday, was Dallas Goedert. So he was back out there today. He had an illness, whatever that means. Not sure what that means. I guess just sick or something. But he was back out there today, limited, and everybody is cleared for the game. Outside of Byron Young, hamstring, he'll be out for the game. But he was a full participant in practice, so they're just probably not dressing him.
What do you have any question marks that make you pause for this thing?
I told you them, and I already feel like they've been answered by the weather. Like my question mark would be, all right, you do have probably a coach who one day will end up in the Hall of Fame based on the resume of his first 8 years, and he's only 38 years old. And you probably have a quarterback who will be, I think, will be, but could be very close as a pro football
Knocking
Hall
on
of
the
Fame
door.
quarterback. Right. And I don't think I don't think Matthew Stafford's in his prime, but I also don't think he's at Aaron Rodgers level where he's regressed. He's not regressed that much. So that's your only concern. And I feel like you're being helped out by you guys call it nature. I call it God, baby. God is looking out for the Birds. He's like, give us some snow in Philly. The Birds are going to the Super Bowl. Woo!
All right. Hey, okay, Hurts running for over 37.5 yards, over under.
37? I'm going to take over, man. Snow game, give me over. I might take over 50 on that.
Barkley, over, under, 111.5 rushing yards.
Over. Snow game. We're giving away a jersey on JAKIB Sports next week, baby.
Jalen Hurts, over, under, 204.5.
Passing?
Yes.
I'm going to go under on that. I think he's going to be sitting around 160 to 180, somewhere in that range, especially with the snow. But here's what I think. I think he's going to have one big play. That will be a highlight play. I think he's going to have one monster play, maybe a touchdown throw, a touchdown play, a big run on third down, something late in the fourth quarter, something. Jalen's going to do something in this game that makes you appreciate the quarterback.
He's going to have 87 yards passing.
Yeah, where's my guy Underdog? Is he still in here? He was saying like 11 to 23 for 80 yards. I'm like, oh my God, no way.
Corinne Williams, Rams, over under 74.5 rushing yards.
Kyron Williams, 74
Yeah.
It was? 74?
74.5 yards.
I'm going over on that. I like that player. He's a good player. He's got a knack for the end zone too. Remember, he kind of fucked them in our first matchup. You remember the Rams were driving early in that game.
Dropped the ball
I believe with the touchdown lead, and Kyron Williams fumbled the ball. So
That's right.
I think he's got that on his mind. He remembers that. I'm sure he remembers that.
That's right. He put the ball on the carpet. I forgot that. He
did. Yeah, it was a big turn, man. A big turn. The Rams, I think, had a chance to go up by 2 scores, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been the first possession of the game, actually.
I don't know if you could say this here, man, but Joy just texted me.
Oh, God.
Look, she said thank you. It's her birthday. It's her birthday today. I said, don't let these fucking slobs fucking get in you. And she goes like this. I'm still working, and my company, Fox, loves me. And I said, then fuck them. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't have said fuck them, I guess.
I'm sure the company loves her.
Hey,
I'm sure the company loves her. I'm sure those execs love Joy.
Easy.
Yeah, all right, I'll take it easy.
Hey, Matthew Stafford, over under 214.5 yards in the game.
Over, baby. Over.
Give me a number. What do you think he throws for?
I think that Snow's going to limit it a little bit. I don't think he's going to get over 300 with Snow, but I'm going to say like 265, 275, somewhere in that range. About a regular Stafford game.
Do you think they make it a fourth quarter game?
Here's the problem, though. I'm giving him 260, but I think he's throwing the ball 46 times in this game. His completion percentage might be down, right around 60, 65. Yep. And it's going to take him a little bit to get those yards because that Snow is going to impact him. So it might be 265, but it's not going to be a pretty 265 where you finesse your way to this little LA Ram lead. These boys are going to have to earn it against the Eagles.
Over under 43.5 points for the game.
43.5. Let's see. Well, if they get my score, it would be under. Okay. If they get my score, it would be under.
Mine would be 38, so mine's under.
Mine's under. Mine would be 41, so mine's under.
Snow, weather, wind.
Johnny Max, it would be 43. John has 43 points in the game.
The number is 43.5.
Okay, and Ed Kratz had a bigger score with 51 points total in the game. 30-21 he had. I'm gonna go under. I think we got a defensive slugfest here in this battle. All right. I'm gonna go. And by the way, I said to you before the show, I'm an Eagle fan, so I'm not tired of hearing it. But boy, how much have we heard about the Saquon Barkley 255 game? Yeah. If the NFL world is tired of hearing about that, you better believe the guys on the defensive line of the Rams are tired of hearing about that shit. This could be a good defensive battle, Sills. Could be a real good defensive battle.
Folks, don't. He's talking stupid shit to you right now.
No, I'm just giving you other things to think about. I think the Eagles.
So, like, when you get into a fight with George Foreman or Mike Tyson, and you know a heavyweight punch is coming, all of a sudden, what? You're going to take that punch if you got knocked out in the first. Here, let me give you something here. Joe Frazier fought George Foreman in the first fight. You know how many times he knocked him down in 2 rounds? 6. Do you know how many times George Foreman knocked down Joe Frazier in the second? 6. And George is a friend of the program. It really doesn't matter, Zander, how many plans you have. He knocked him down 6 times in each fight. I mean,
I hear you.
You're
acting like I'm picking the fucking Rams. I'm giving you some things to think about. All right. I'm giving you some things to think about. I think the Birds are going to handle this team pretty easily. All right. And I've said that since Monday when we figured out, who we were, or Sunday night when we figured out who we were playing. So I feel pretty good about this game.
Okay. Puka Nacua, over under 79 yards receiving.
79 over.
Yeah.
I don't care though, because last time he had 110 versus us. Didn't do it. Didn't mean anything.
I don't care. All right.
Now, if he gets that and Cooper Kupp gets that, all right, we might have some issues.
All right. A couple things here on the games this weekend here. Then we'll get to the supers here. Who do you like, Baltimore, Buffalo?
Thank you, Charlie. Baltimore, Buffalo. Lamar Jackson's done. That's why I put him 6th on my quarterback list, because I don't trust him. And I think he's done and dusted. I think Josh Allen is going to have a Hall of Fame level performance right now to solidify his spot in the AFC title game. And I'll let you know how I'm feeling about the AFC title game when it comes. But that dude, Josh Allen's on a mission right now. He's the best player. He, in my opinion, as it stands on January 17th, he's the best football player on planet Earth. That's my opinion.
Derrick Henry's going for 205 yards in this game. In the snow in Buffalo.
They got snow up there too?
Yeah, and he's going to fucking terrorize that Buffalo Bills defense. That's limited, and he is good. Do you want to tackle Derrick Henry in 20 degrees below zero?
You're right.
You want that freight? Do you want to stand in front of a freight train when it's 19 degrees?
Yeah. So you're picking against Josh Allen?
I know, man. I got Baltimore rolling in there. There's too many. They've got 2 stars. There's one in, but I don't think he's going to play B-plus football in that game. But that's not going to be good enough against 2-star players.
Josh Allen's not playing B-plus football in that game.
Okay. All right. Washington.
Wait a second. Can I just ask you, why do you think that?
I think Baltimore's playing better football than Buffalo.
All right. I haven't seen Josh Allen play B-plus football in a game that mattered in a long time.
I saw him play B-plus against that Rams team, and it wasn't good enough to win. They got beat by the Rams.
So he's got to play A-plus, or they don't even have a shot.
Or they don't have a shot. They don't have enough talent on that team.
Well, I go back.
The Rams beat the Bills. You're giving.
I go back often to that playoff game where they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs late in the game.
What are you making the Rams beating the Bills? They put 50 on them.
That Bills defense is not the Eagles.
And all of a sudden, Derrick Henry's not going to run that thing over. Did the Rams put?
Give me the fucking Bills. Move on to the next game.
Hey, wait. Did the Rams put 50 on that Bills team? Was that the score they put on them?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, or was it? Don't tell me.
It was 44-42, the final.
They put 44 points on that Bills team. Wow.
Listen to these QB stat lines. Josh Allen was 22 of 37 for 340 and 3 tutties.
Oh.
And Matthew Stafford was 23 of 30 for 320 and 2 tutties. Puka Nacua had 12 catches. Puka Nacua had 12 catches for 162 and a tutty.
What did Allen run for in that game, too?
Allen ran for 10 carries, 82 yards. Oh, my God. 424 total yards.
Is that the game he had 6 touchdowns in? Where he had like 3 rushing and 3 touchdowns in the air?
Yeah.
So that guy had 400 yards in offense.
Yeah, he did. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground. That's right. He had 6 touchdowns that day. Yeah, you take Lamar, okay? I watched the Eagles defense turn that guy into a freaking meatball. I'm not taking them. I'm sorry. I might be biased because I watched us dismantle them. I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking Josh Allen. I think he's the best player on earth right now.
Washington at Detroit. Do you think there's a punch or shot here for Washington rolling into this game against the Lions?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a punch or
See,
shot.
I think that Detroit Lions defense is leaky.
They're leaky, but you got to tip your cap to what they've been able to do.
Yeah, no, I do.
With that many injuries. I mean, I think there's definitely a punch or shot. I think the command. I told you at the start of the segment. I think the Commanders' game plan is the same as the Rams' game plan. How do we make this a fourth quarter game? And if by the way, if you're Detroit and you do have a fourth quarter game, I'm not feeling too hot about Jaden Daniels in the fourth quarter against my defense in a 1-score game. So I think there's a big chance that
I saw Caleb Williams stretch them out.
Yeah, well, that's a little different. I'll say. I think that's a little different.
But no, they're dual threat guys. They're
divisional game though. I mean, that's a little bit different. And no, you're right though. I mean, Jaden Daniels has that dual threat ability. He's been able to really take it to teams. So I think they got a good chance. But I'm still going with the Lions in that game.
Hey, Birds fans, do you realize this? You could wake up Monday morning and be hosting the NFC Championship.
Oh my gosh! Against the Washington Communist. Yes.
Oh my God. You could be there's a shot you could be hosting the NFC Championship game against the Commanders.
Somebody put a super chat on Birds 365 today. They're like, well, it's going to be a bad day on Monday in Washington. They're all going to be crying about Trump being inaugurated and the Commanders getting bounced from the postseason.
Wow. Okay. Houston at Kansas City. This is probably the lesser of all the games this weekend, but let me say this to you about Kansas City here. I'll tell you this about that Texans team. I'm not even going to talk about their offense. Their defense has been playing really good football as of late.
That's D'Amico Ryans, by the way.
How in the world do you not look and think that the pressure of all the teams that left, right? Of the 8 teams that are left, Kansas City's got to have the most pressure because you're going for a 3-peat. Okay, and you're playing against history here. Is there a shot here? By the way, I thought CJ played well last week, man. I mean, I thought that whole team played well.
Yeah.
What do you think of this one here at Arrowhead?
I think this game is going to be the weirdest one of the weekend. All right. And I think the Chiefs are going to win. But how many times this year have you seen the Chiefs just like squeak their way into this crazy win? I'm thinking like the Panthers game where they ended on a field goal and Butker hits it. I'm thinking it's a small margin, maybe 1 or 2 points and a field goal wins it at the end. But I'm taking the Chiefs in the game. What do you want me to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm taking the Texans.
You think the run is over?
The run's out here.
All right. I don't hate that take as much as you probably thought I'd hate that take. Yeah. I do think it's going to be a close game. And based on what I said, obviously anybody can win it. So I don't have an issue with it, but.
Do you not agree that this Kansas City team is probably the lesser of the last 2 years?
Definitely. But they're also more experienced, and some of their young defenders are better. And Patrick Mahomes understands how to win more. And Andy Reid's got more experience and more accolades under his belt. He's wiser with his older age. I mean, what do you want me to do? Pick against the Chiefs? And in fact, I think you're fucking nuts.
Travis Kelce is not the same player. And Mahomes has had an up and down year all year long. That Texans team is going to be hungrier. They've got younger players. I just think Kansas City, it's more about them being out of gas than it is about whether the Texans are better. I'm going to make a point to you about something here. So think about this let's just go the last 4 years here. So look at Dallas. When Dallas' season ended when? December, at the very end of December, right? So Kansas City has gone January, February for 3 straight years. So they have had to play 14 extra games.
Right.
In the last 3 years, they've had to play 14 extra games than they have with their regular season. You don't think that catches up with the amount of time that you have played, especially with an older team, that you've played that much football? I mean, hasn't it looked like they've dude, I'm with you. They've lost 2 games. They really lost 1 because they gave that last game to Denver. I'm with you on it. But doesn't it look like they labored this year?
Yeah, but dude, I mean.
I know. I'm with you.
Dude, I mean, that's the same thing you're saying.
This is better me doing this than you giving the fucking Rams a puncher shot after the Rams got beat up in week 12.
I think it might be worse. You're talking about a fucking Texas team that's going to knock out the 15-2. Oh, the Chiefs, haven't they looked leaky all year? They're 15-2. What the hell are you smoking, my guy? Okay. You hear what I'm saying, though? I mean, let's look at this Chiefs schedule, all right? Because they have had some sneaky close games, all right? They have had some sneaky close games.
The Raiders, too. They barely beat the Raiders. On Christmas
Day. They basically forfeited for their second loss. So they're really, 15-2.
No. They're really won. They're really one loss. Hey, by the way, like you said, that's a divisional game, the Raider game. So, I mean, you got to put that in there.
They destroyed the Steelers 29-10. They already beat the Texans 27-19 late in December. They beat the Browns 21-7. I'm not impressed by that. Close game versus the Chargers. Close game versus the Panthers. Close game versus the Raiders. Lost to the Bills. Close game versus the Broncos. Beat the Bucs in overtime. Beat the Raiders by a touchdown. They haven't really blown many teams out. I mean,
and they beat the Texans by 8.
Yeah, beat the Texans by 8 late in December, 27-19.
Yeah, and that's a 1-score game.
CJ Stroud had 2 picks in that game.
Okay, so clean that up. Where are you? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean. See, remember the reason why I'm picking, because I think this game will be because you even said it.
I'm sorry. I don't know how you're picking the right.
No, but you said this game will be close. Did you not?
I did.
Okay, well, I'm just going the opposite way of it being close. Okay,
I just feel like they're getting healthier at the right time. I mean, they're healthier now.
I think
they got back Hollywood Brown. They made Xavier Worthy something.
Extra week for Travis Kelce too in that O-line.
Yeah, I'm with you on Travis though. I mean, he doesn't look the same at all.
No. Let's get to the supers.
Lord's Grace, what's up, bro? The most sacks given up this season was 6 by Tampa Bay. Jalen loves taking sacks. It drives Dan up the wall. I know.
It does because it takes him out of field position. But he's come to the conclusion that taking the sack is the safer play than throwing the ball down the field, which is correct.
What's up, everybody in the chat? Let me get a chat check. Look at my guy Twiz. Where's Twiz at? Twiz got his there he is. What's up, Twiz? Appreciate you, brother. There's Flex. What's up, everybody? All right, here we go. Crow Server. I like that name. It's Nick, it's Johnson, it's Moore, it's never hurts.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, no, it's right. Well, how many? Let's see now. It wasn't Nick, because Nick was 2-5 when he was a shitty coordinator with Hurts. Then it was Brian Johnson who sucked. He's terrible. By the way, he's doing a hell of a job with Jaden Daniels. And by the way, Brian Johnson's in the divisional round of the playoffs versus the Detroit Lions, with Jaden Daniels will be the rookie of the year as a quarterback coach there in Washington. Thought I'd throw that in the room. Oh, by the way, are you not playing against Sean Desai too this weekend? Oh, that guy sucked too. Funny. He's helped Chris Shula with the defense. Boy, those two scapegoats. How come the two guys you fired are in the playoffs in the divisional round?
Because they were scapegoated.
Wild?
Because they were scapegoated.
Wild. Okay.
That's it. That's all the supers we got. We were dead today.
By the way, that's what I'm saying is, isn't that funny? All those coaches that they blow out and they want to land on and saying this guy sucks, that guy sucks. And yet Kellen Moore's got 4 fucking job interviews. I'm sure 2903 and 18 touchdowns helped him get those interviews instead of the 15-3. Okay. What do you think helped Kellen get those job interviews? 2005 rushing yards or 2903? Holy shit. I just realized it. You mean to tell me Jalen Hurts only had 900 more? Holy shit.
What are you saying over there?
Wait a minute. So Jalen had 900 more passing yards than fucking what Barkley had 2,000 yards rushing. He had only 9. Oh, and I forgot. That's right. We got to add the rushing in. I forgot because dual threat.
I told you guys. I told you that's why I wasn't that impressed with Kellen Moore. But you remember, you gave me shit, and everybody in the chat.
15-3. He gets the credit too, Junior.
All right, that's fine.
Well, does he not?
That he gets some. I mean,
Last year they had all these huge numbers for the receivers and the quarterback, and they had a 6-game losing streak. This year the guy's in the divisional round. He's 15-3, and fucking he gets no credit for it. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, but here's the pushback. He inherited the greatest offensive lineman coach in the league and a great run game.
So
and basically, just from the decision to run more, he's being credited with everything. I mean,
so did Hurts. He inherited that.
Well, not really.
No, the only difference is what is Isaac. No, wait, it's the center. Holy shit, man. Let's land. Oh, my God. You've now become an apologist for the Jalenites. Bumper! Where are
I'm not apologizing for the Jalenites.
Where are you, Pumper, when I need you?
Everybody's making fun of me because I'm yawning. I know Sileo has put me to sleep. Shit topics today.
No, you know what's put me to sleep? 2903.
Yeah, I know. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that one. But
good, brother. I'll tell you what, though, dude. I'm really looking forward to this weekend, man. I can't wait to see these games. Dude, there's really a chance you could be hosting the NFC Championship game come fucking Monday. That would really be wild.
Dude, if we're hosting the NFC title game, oh my God. I got to get tickets to give away somehow.
Bro, we'll find him. We'll find him.
Get him.
Yeah,
I'll get some. I told you I re-upped on the – well, I didn't go yet, but I spoke to my guy. I re-upped on the – yesterday we did the promotion on Bird Street.
He's got a guy in South Philly who knows a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, 100%. That's how Philly works. Anybody who lives in Philly knows that. You got to know a guy that knows another guy, and maybe you can get connected to the other guy that everybody wants to know.
That's right. And that's
how it works.
He's sitting out front of Lincoln Financial going like this. Hey, I got 3 right here. They're undervalued. They're going to be right there on the 25-yard line. I'll give them to you for 125. How you know?
Big Z knows. Big Z knows all the guys you need to know. All right, that's networking at its finest.
Zander, great stuff, brother. I'll see you on Sunday.
I can't believe you picked the Texans. I can't believe you picked against Josh Allen. I can't believe I can't believe you picked the Eagles and you picked the Lions or the Commanders. Who'd you pick?
Oh, I got the Lions all day.
Okay. All right. So you had 2 shit picks and 1 good pick, or 2 good picks.
Yeah, you know what?
50% from the field. That's about
what. The great things you'll always know about Big Sills: unpredictable.
50% from the field on good picks and bad picks. Good job, brother. I appreciate you.
Right.
Oh, wait, one more Super Bowl. Let's read it. Door Gunner. Hurts averaging like 130 passing yards and playoff wins. Take the ball away from Hurts and you win. LOL, but he's elite. Best NFC QB is in DC.
Thank you. He is. How you doing? By the way, can you imagine if the Commanders win? That means that they would have won 14 ball games this year.
That's crazy, dude. Dude, that's crazy. I don't care if they're a division rival. You got to tip your cap sometime.
You bet.
Dirty D said you skipped his.
Hey,
Dirty
Josh,
D, I didn't see that.
Can I say this without anybody taking a gigantor shit on me?
Oh.
Josh Harris has had a pretty good first year owning that team.
Oh, yeah. Well, he cares more about football because there's more money to be made in football.
That's
Dirty
right.
D says Travis Kelce has lost a step. I wonder if that has anything to do with Taylor Swift or him taking the flu shot in 17 boosters.
Hey,
blood, baby.
Hey, Dirty D, don't rip on Mr. Pfizer. Come on, man.
I listen. I'm not doing that. But yeah, Big Z's pure blood, baby. All right, Big Z's pure blood. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you all.
Got it, brother. I'll see
Let's
Sunday.
go Bears. We need a big win this weekend, boy. Come on, baby. All right,
see you Sunday, brother.
Later.
You got it. That is our friend. Make sure you guys check him out. Don't forget to, on Sunday, we have the pre and the halftime and the post-game show. Don't forget our great friends at BetUS, too, during this football time. Monday night, too, is the national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Our great friends at BetUS, make sure you team up for the YouTube 150. Sign-up bonuses up to $2K. Your second and third are at 125%. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year. Live wagering on all major games. And if you want a private account executive, he will set you and they will set you up with that. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with